Good Friday morning to everybody out there. Today is November the 1st, and we have a lot to catch you up on. As you can see, we got the Fury back on the ground. So without any further ado, let's dive right into this video. Now, if you follow my short videos on YouTube, or if you subscribe to our Instagram page, I have one for Hardhead Garage, and there's also one strictly for content on the Fury here. That page is Sinister Fury 67 if you want to go check that out on Instagram. But if you follow those accounts, you would know that we just recently did a photo shoot, like a Halloween themed photo shoot of Freddy versus Jason with this car. So I'll drop some of those photos in here. That was a fun little bit to do. So I've been kind of tied up doing that, but let me dive right into it and let y'all know what's going on with the car here. So when I left off last with this project, we were fighting rear brake issues, trying to find the correct drums for that. We got the correct drums in and went to bleed the brakes and found out that we have a bad hard line going to the rear. Either it's clogged, well, I know it's got to be clogged somewhere, but there's also a pinhole on the driver's side. So we're going to be either remaking that hard line or ordering a kit. Hadn't decided yet. I've been doing some research on the kit, and a lot of folks say that they're not the correct bends. They don't really work, so we might just end up bending our own. I did go ahead and install that new master cylinder. As you can see, it's already starting to rust. I should have shot some paint on that, but we were kind of in a hurry. I wasn't planning on using that new master until I had to, but it kind of come down to where I had to. I thought maybe the old master wasn't pushing fluid to the rears. Then I actually took off the proportioning valve to try to reset it, got it reset, and still couldn't get any flow to the rear. I couldn't even blow air or brake cleaner through it, so I'm sure there's some kind of rust clogged up in that rear line, or I'm not sure, but it's just not flowing. I couldn't even pull any through with my vacuum pump. I put it on like 25-30 pounds of vacuum and it wouldn't pull fluid at all. So there's definitely some kind of restriction there. For the time being, it's not recommended, but I just got it blocked off here at the master cylinder. What I did was pull this front line off, which is for the rears, and I got a small ball bearing or a BB in there. Tighten it down, not enough to disform the flare in the brake line, but tighten it down enough to where it wouldn't leak. And we have front brakes, so we were able to take it on a small, short test drive, and it did pretty good. Everything on the suspension is new on the front. Only thing we didn't redo is that steering box, which to be the original steering box, it didn't do too bad. Car rode good. A minor slight bit of slop in the steering, but that's attributed to that old steering box, so we'll probably get that rebuilt soon. Another issue I did run into is on the passenger side. I don't know if we can get the camera down here to see it. Yeah, you can. The locating ear on the control arm mount, that's part of the frame. If you could see right here, let me zoom in. That locates the cam bolt for your suspension adjustment. It's actually broke off. So when I was going down the road, I dialed the suspension in as far as the alignment. I'd come back and it would be way off on this passenger side. The wheel would be cambered in. So I got to looking and it's like, no wonder, because the bolt didn't have any support right here. It was just walking all around. So I think I'm gonna have to just move. It's not broken completely off yet, but I'm hoping I can bend that back into place, put a weld on it, and then maybe put a supporting weld behind it. But I did tighten it down as tight as I can get it, and I put paint marks on it last time we took it for a test drive, and it hadn't moved yet, so I need to get that fixed and addressed. As far as all the wiring upgrades, everything worked fine. Electric fan worked fine. Never did overheat. I did have a small fuel leak right here. There was a fuel pressure gauge there, but that thing went faulty on us and it started leaking. It was supposed to be a liquid filled gauge, and the liquid had drained out of it and had filled up with gas, and gas was spewing out of the top side of the gauge, so I had to end up ditching that, and we just plugged it off with the plug that come with that fuel line kit. Now, as far as today's project, I need to get underneath here and put some oil in this rear end. We do have a differential, a pinion seal leak. So when we was on that last test drive, I noticed it was kind of whining a little bit, and I've noticed some spots in the driveway where the pinion seal's been leaking. So I need to slide underneath there, fill that up with some oil, and I think as far as the rear, that'll be done for today. We're trying to get this thing ready so we can go hit a few spots for a photo shoot possibly tomorrow. The leaves are at their peak color right now this weekend, and I think after this weekend they'll be pretty much gone, so trying to get this thing hurried up so we can get some nice photos. Other than that, I think I got a small transmission line leak that I need to tackle up at the front of the radiator. I just think it's just the rubber hoses are, I've tightened the clamps down too tight on them and put a cut in them or something. So I'm gonna address that, and hopefully you'll see some photos or some videos of this thing cruising the back road soon. This thing hasn't been tagged and on the road since '93, I think, so it's a pretty good long time. I'm kind of excited to take it to a few of these spots around our local town here, down these old country back roads. But as far as that, everything else is good to go. It's got a good stance. I like the way it sits. It's got like 40 pounds of air in the rear shocks. I got the torsion bars dialed in on the front about to where I want them. So I'm happy with all that. So let's knock out these few little things and take this thing for a cruise.